Do you believe in the Quran?
We don't speak to polytheists. We don't speak to
We don't. You don't. Why? Why so much hatred? You come to clearly a nation where you call people here polytheists.
pagans.
So you don't want to speak to Christians in the United Kingdom.
I don't consider you a Christian.
No. Question is simple.
You're
So you are in the UK, which is a Christian nation.
You're a bad representation of Christianity.
In the UK, would you like to speak to Christians?
You're a pagan, sir. I don't want to speak to you.
In the UK, would you like to speak to Christians?
My friend, you just got your passport yesterday. Let's not talk about that, right? So let's.
Who told you I have a passport? Who told you?
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you so afraid?
Good point.
So defense mechanism in this fellow's case is being angry. What about it in your case?
I'm more British.
What's that?
Your yellow teeth.
My yellow teeth is your inspiration. So I'm glad that you are here. When are you planning? Any switch that I can use to turn things on?
Move your mic up my face first.
It's not in your face. I am here. You're there. I am here.
I don't want to chat to you.
Any Muslim who is brave enough.
No, my friend.
You're showing up in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is the point in having 8 people in a group, 8 Muslims in a group? What's that?
8 is 1. 8 is 1.
8 is 1. 8 people, 8 Muslims in a group, but having no clue. What's the point? The adult of the family, maybe the most senior in the family, and couple of slightly junior people, and the next generation having no clue whatsoever. Yet they show up in numbers. Why? Are you Muslim, sir? Why did they send you from the masjid? What did they tell you? Before this, on Friday, when they said, please, next Sunday it's your turn to show up at Speaker's Corner, what did they tell you?
Yeah, so they told me,
Yeah.
come to Speaker's Corner and speak to you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you you're a lun. That's what they told me.
Tell me what?
You're a lun.
I'm
in
a
my
what?
language, it's a different word. I don't know what it means. in
Sure,
English,
no problem.
but that's
Don't
what
worry.
they
Let's speak in English. So, you're a Muslim yourself? Yeah. Yeah. I am a Christian, and I consider Islam to be a gaslighting religion, big time. Terrible. It's really terrible. So let me. Sure. Let's focus on this. So, do you think the Bible is corrupt?
I believe the Bible of today is corrupt, yeah.
Yeah. And who do you think corrupt the Bible?
A number of people. Not
Like who?
one.
How can you identify Jews, Christians?
I'm not saying it was an individual group of people. I'm saying it was people throughout time.
Like who? Did the Afghans corrupt the Bible?
No, they didn't have control over it.
Sure. So who corrupted the Bible?
Greeks, realistically.
Yeah, who? So be realistic. Don't be afraid. Please answer.
Greeks, when they had the manuscripts.
The Greeks had the manuscript.
Yeah, like people like John the Prophet.
So now let's be clear. Okay, that's fine. You may not know the Quran, but I'll tell you what the Quran says. The Quran is clear. The Quran itself is clear. So you don't have to be afraid.
Go on.
The Quran says it's the Jews and Christians who have corrupted the Bible.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
19.
19. In your entire life, have you come across any Torah which is an Islamic Torah or any Injil which is an Islamic Injil? Have you found anyone? Any manuscript anywhere?
Not its entirety.
No, even a shred, a little portion.
We don't have issues with taking stories and taking things from the Israeliyat. Like we don't disagree with the scriptures in their entirety at all.
That's not the question. Please focus on the question. The question is simple. The Quran claims, in one way of reading the Quran, it claims that the Christians and Jews have corrupted the Bible. Corrupted.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning 2 significant portions of the Bible, the Torah and the New Testament, let's say, the New Testament, the Gospels, let's say. And for the Quran to be right, you need to have some evidence somewhere in the world. Do you know of any... Please let me finish. Do you know of any manuscript of the Torah or the New Testament anywhere in the world? Anywhere. Choose anywhere.
That complete? No.
Anywhere which gives you an Islamic Torah or Islamic Jesus. Anywhere.
No, not a complete one.
Not complete. Remotely, even starting. Anything remotely that's Islamic.
It doesn't need to be.
My dear friend, okay. Let me. I'll give you a simple option. I'll give you a simple option. You can also tell me you don't know. That's fine.
No, I'm saying does it need to be?
I know, but do you know or don't you know? Do you know about the biblical manuscripts?
Yeah, I do, but I'm saying does it need
the Torah. Tell me a few manuscripts of the Torah.
Like, what do you mean in terms of manuscripts?
Do you understand the word manuscripts?
Yeah.
Tell me if you know anything about manuscripts of the Torah. Anything.
No, I'm better on New Testament.
So you don't know, yeah, that's fine. About the New Testament, do you know anything about the manuscripts? Anything?
A bit more.
Like what? Please tell me.
I know.
Name a couple of manuscripts.
I don't know the names of the manuscripts. I know the provenance though.
Sure. Tell me a couple of things about a couple of those manuscripts. Not the names, but something else.
They're generally in Greek, written by John the Prophet after the time of Jesus.
John the Prophet after the time of Jesus?
Yeah,
John the Prophet. Which John the Prophet?
The one that wrote Revelations.
He's a prophet?
According to the Christians, he is.
Okay. He's called an apostle. That's his appointment. Apostle.
Well,
That's
apostle-
fine.
apostle how?
That's
Apostle
fine.
of who?
But I'm talking
Apostle of
about
who?
I'm talking about manuscripts. Tell me a few things that help me understand that you really know about the manuscripts, manuscriptal evidence. Anything. Where any manuscriptal fragments that you're aware of, anything. Even if you don't know the name, describe the manuscriptal fragment that you know of.
Realistic Dead Sea Scrolls, that's about it.
That's Old Testament. I'm
Exactly.
talking about the
Oh,
New
I don't know New
Testament.
Testament.
Sure. In other words, either way,
I don't know that yet.
in other words, either way, you don't know. Yeah,
that's
you
fine.
don't know. So I can tell you.
Go on.
I can tell you. There are thousands of manuscripts, manuscriptal evidence for the New Testament. Thousands. Thousands.
And there's,
I'll finish.
go on.
In Greek, thousands. Outside of Greek, in other translations, all sorts of different manuscripts spread across the world from very early times.
Yeah.
Very early manuscripts. But the challenge is, there is no Islamic Jesus found anywhere. In other words, you're faced with, one second, you're faced with a question, whether to believe in this Quran, which gaslights without evidence, that these books have been changed, with no evidence, no shred of evidence, which you clearly don't know of. Clearly, you don't have a clue about this evidence.
No, I don't.
But you're believing in a lie without knowing that it is a lie.
Okay, so-
When are you planning to read about manuscripts of the Bible?
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you about manuscripts.
No, let me- yeah,
Can I
please.
ask you a question?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can give me a manuscript of the Bible that was from the time of Jesus, or from the time of Jesus himself,
Why?
because if we're talking about the Gospels, which are about Jesus, then surely there should be something from his life that says, I saw Jesus doing this,
Why?
because that way I know that it hasn't come from somebody's mouth and been corrupted by somebody's mouth.
Excuse me, my dear friend. I don't know if you know how history works, okay?
Go on.
So, in terms of manuscriptal evidence, the way it works for the New Testament is very different. We're not talking about whether we have a manuscript from Jesus' living room, the bed, the whatever, balcony.
That's what I'm asking you.
That's not.
I'm telling you that I don't believe that there could be. I don't believe I can believe in the Bible in its entirety that says this is exactly what Jesus said. If the collections of what Jesus said came like 50 years, 100 years after Jesus.
Sure. So let's compare now two things, yeah? So number one is you are so skeptical that, because the Gospels are a little bit late after Jesus' assumption, you won't believe. Yeah, that's your
I couldn't
very
believe
intelligent skepticism. Please let me finish. So you're very intelligent. I completely understand. I respect that. You're very intelligent and you're skeptical and saying, look, these Gospels were written a little bit later, couple of decades later, and I'm unhappy. But the Quran, unfortunately, for the Quran, you've left behind all skepticism. You've believed in a total lie.
I haven't.
So tell me one manuscript, one. Okay, let me tell you one thing. So about the Bible, you haven't got a clue.
Go on.
Yeah. So about the Bible, you really haven't got a clue to let us know that if there is
Manuscripts
no.
I don't know. Yeah.
So,
Go on.
but there is. I can tell you very honestly, there is no Islamic Torah, none.
I didn't say there was. I didn't say there was a manuscript that's.
But you're so skeptical. Now, what are you going to do what are you going to do about this fact that I'm bringing out? There is
I don't
no
need to do anything about
Islam.
it. But what? That
Oh,
fact
wait a
doesn't
second.
challenge
Wait. Are you saying?
But I'm telling you,
What?
why does that fact challenge me? Why does it challenge me?
I'm explaining.
Go on.
If the Gospels are a tiny bit late, you're so upset because they are a tiny bit late.
Yeah.
But if the Quran has no evidence whatsoever, and all evidence is contra Quran, you're perfectly happy.
if all
What
of you-
kind of delusion is
I'm
that?
telling you, all of your evidence that's contrary to the Quran. Like my evidence doesn't need to be out like from your scriptures necessarily.
What evidence have you got for the
my
Quran?
Evidence of the
Any
Quran-
evidence?
My evidence of the Quran doesn't need to come from the Bible. It doesn't need to come from the Torah. It doesn't
So
need to
where
from
does
the
it come from?
From outside matters. It comes from things like prophecy and things along those lines.
Please, tell me.
Like
Where,
prophecy.
please.
Prophecy within the Quran that speaks about the future.
Sure. So I'll give you. Let's stick to one topic. Choose one topic. Please, one topic, and let's get to the depth.
Go on, let's get to the depth.
Sure.
What's going on?
Tell me one good reason to believe in the Quran to be from anyone remotely who could be called God. One good reason. But tell me just the outline first, and then I'll ask about the depth. Yeah, where I'll need the details from you.
Because one reason. When you say one, like
Look, you said you have evidence for the Quran.
yeah.
So tell me about one reason, one evidence, one reasoning, one evidence based on evidence that you can use to establish that the Quran,
Prophecy.
despite all the evidence being against the Quran, I still trust in the Quran because of. Give me, fill in the blanks. Give me.
Prophecy and perfection.
Sure. So tell me, give me one detail. So what exactly is in the Quran that makes you believe in the Quran despite all evidence in the entire world being against this.
Everybody in the entire world isn't against the festival.
What is that?
Everybody in the entire world isn't against the festival.
Everything which is historical is against the Quran. I'll expand that in a little bit, but focus on the prophecy you were talking about. So what prophecy?
If in the Quran it predicts stuff that happens in the future, for example, like the defeat of the Romans.
The defeat of the Romans.
Yeah.
So please explain. Where?
I don't need to show you. I'm telling you.
Tell me.
If it talks about prophecy, it talks about the Romans, and it talks about their battles, and then it refers to them after. Like before
Which
the
one?
fight.
Which one?
You should know this. You know this stuff.
I know which one.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Show
you
me.
tell me.
You show me.
You're going to now explain in terms of the which surah number is that room? Surah Al-Rum, yeah? Al-Rum. Where is that? Which number do you remember? Okay, that's fine. Just give me 1 second. But in the meantime, please keep speaking. What is the prophecy in about the Romans? Please explain. That makes you believe that the Quran is utterly believable, despite the fact that all of evidence is against it.
I'm not going to
Please.
explain this entirety. Go on. I want you to show me.
Please,
show me
please,
and
go
we'll
on.
speak. Show me and we'll speak about it.
No, so I've got the surah. Okay, let's 393. Okay, so tell me what is there in the Quran about the Romans, please. So what do you think is there in the surah?
I know what's in the surah. Show me the surah.
So tell me what is there in the surah. You said you're convinced.
Show me. Go on.
Tell me.
Let's go.
Okay, let's read.
Let's read it together. Let's read it
So in
together.
other words, you don't seem to be
Let's read
convinced
it
based
together.
on that.
Let's
That's
read it together.
okay. That's fine.
Let's read it together.
Let's read. Please read.
You can read. Go on.
Please read.
You can read.
Okay.
We can both
Alif Lam Mim.
Yeah.
Surah Ar-Rum. Surah 21. Oh, sorry, 30. Surah Ar-Rum.
Yeah, go on.
Alif Lam Mim. The Byzantines have been defeated in the nearest land, but they, after their defeat, will overcome within 3 to 9 years. Okay, so that's the. So please now go on. So what do you understand from here? That's so remarkable a prophecy that based on this you have utterly dedicated your life to the Islamic Allah. Why?
The other thing is I haven't exclusively dedicated my life on the Quran. I've dedicated my life to Islam.
No, based on the Quran. So please. So you said please focus here. Let's get to the depth of this, please. So
You're making. It's not about focusing. You're making claims that aren't exactly true, right?
No,
If
one
you're
second.
telling me, if you're telling
please
me,
focus on this. Romans. You said this is a wonderful prophecy.
equally you focus on this then, yeah? If you're telling me that I've dedicated my whole life to exclusively the Quran and my evidence is exclusively from the Quran, then that's not true.
Sure. But now we are focusing on this chapter. Then you can explain to me your life's grievances. Now, please, here.
Come on, man, don't speak like that.
Sure.
You can-
Now,
you can
please
speak with
focus here. Please focus here.
You can speak with respect, though, can't you?
Sure.
Yeah, go
Please
on,
focus here. Please focus. So, what detail is there here?
This.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Based on that, please tell me. Explain to me. What is the prophecy? What have you understood from the prophecy? And what is remarkably true about this? That this must be from a God. Please.
The prophecy states
Yeah.
that the Muslims will take over the land that's mentioned then directly after, right?
Muslims? Okay. Please, I'll let you finish. Sorry. So the Muslims would take the land.
And that day, the believers will rejoice in the victory of Allah, and He gives victory to whom He wills. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
please.
Allah has given victory to whom He wills, and He did give victory to whom He wills, and as such we believe in it.
Sure.
That's it.
So, but focus on the prophecy. What does the prophecy say? So you're saying believers will get victory when?
I said the believers will rejoice. I didn't say the believers will get victory. The believers can rejoice in the victory of others.
Sure. So what is the exact prophecy based on which you're convinced that the Quran is from Islamic Allah? Or from a God, any God, some God. Someone who's clearly in your mind God. Tell me, what is significant about this state?
Can you tell me why it's not significant? Tell me why it's not significant.
Look, you're supposed to explain to me and you're now withdrawing. Please, my dear friend. My name is Arul. I am a Christian. I believe in facts. What's your name?
Nadir.
Nadir. I believe in facts. I believe in the truth. I believe in solid reasoning. If I need to bet my life on something, let it better be true. I constantly evaluate and reevaluate. That's very good. That's godly. Pursuing truth, using solid reason,
Completely agree.
based on evidence, facts, very important. Yeah.
Completely agree.
You are telling me, you are likewise, you believe in the Quran based on details in the surah, in this particular surah. So I'm trying to find out. So let me read the details so you can help me understand. So it says the Byzantines have been defeated. By who?
Doesn't matter to me.
What do you mean doesn't matter? Byzantines have been defeated by all sorts of different people.
Yeah, exactly.
So who? I'd like to know who.
Don't ask me. You go on. You can. I want you to talk. If you're going to tell me why this prophecy isn't
Dear
true,
friend,
No, but brother, come
do
on.
you understand what a prophecy is?
I do. But I'm going to tell you. If you're going to tell me why this prophecy isn't true, I want you to explain it to me. I'm not
Sure. I'll explain to you.
Go on.
A prophecy, if you have to believe in a prophecy to be something supernatural,
like I'm saying,
I'll finish.
Let me finish,
Something
let me
supernatural.
finish. Well, I know that you've spoken about this prophecy before, right? And I know that you discuss this prophecy all the time. So I'm asking you to explain to me why it's not true. That's what I'm asking you.
Explain. I'm
Go on,
explaining.
yeah, go on.
Okay. So I'll get to the question you're asking me straight away. Number one, if anyone thinks this is even a prophecy, I will be very upset. Not towards the person, but I'll be upset on behalf of the person.
Go on, explain why.
Because a prophecy has to have meaningful details that we find to be true. Based on a prediction or a secret that wasn't revealed so far, a prophecy reveals and we find it to be true in precision. To an extent we can say, look, this exposition, this exposure of truth could not be from a human being, this could only be from God. Yeah? So they can, and therefore I can say, look, this is clearly supernatural. That's how prophecies work. You know, looking at this, there is no meat to chew. This is not a prophecy because, number one, of course it mentions the name Byzantines. Fine. In this translation at least, it uses the term Byzantines. Fine. Have been defeated. Defeated by who? What the heck is this talking about? No one has a clue. And let me continue reading. In the nearest land. What is the nearest land? Is this the nearest land from Mecca? Is this the nearest land from Medina? Is this the nearest land from Hijazi? Is this the nearest land from Syria? What nearest land is this? What is the nearest land? No one has a clue. And then it goes on to say, but they, after their defeat, will overcome. Will overcome who? Who? This is what I would call waffling on with no substance. This and let me finish, please.
Go on, carry on.
Remind me your name again.
Nadir.
Nadir, please, let me finish. You're a lovely man. You're listening patiently so far, and I genuinely want you to consider what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you're seeing what I'm saying. Very simply, this does not have any detail for anyone to examine and find out if this is from God or not. Do you see what I'm saying?
And what I'm saying is, if it says that they will overcome within 3 to 9 years, right? After their defeat, they will overcome within 3 to 9 years. Is it not blatantly obvious that it will be over those that they have been defeated by?
Sure. But by who? In what land?
That's not my point.
What is the... No, it is my point. Byzantines have been winning and losing all over the time, all over the place. So what is this talking about?
So at the point of Revelation, what was going on? At the point of Revelation, where are the Byzantines just lost?
You tell me.
If you're telling me this,
You tell me. God knows when this was written. God knows who wrote this. So you tell me, please.
we both know.
Nadir,
when it was written.
Nadir.
We both know when it was written, though. Come on, man.
When was this written?
We both know when the Quran was revealed.
I'll come to the topic. I'll come to the topic of the fact that every claim about the Quran is bonkers. I'll come to that topic later. The historicity of the Quran is just bonkers. It's useless, thoroughly useless. You know, one of the Qurans has been found in some junkyard. I'll come to that later. But now, focus on this. This is not a prophecy. It does not have substance. You can't use this to verify anything. You can't even use this to verify if you have food at your home. You can't. This is thoroughly useless. This is waste of paper.
I think we can both agree that you're not speaking with respect, and I asked you to speak with respect.
Nadir,
sorry,
you as a gentleman,
I'm asking you as a
Nadir,
gentleman.
you as a gentleman, I respect. But this, please focus. Help me understand.
Let me finish. I asked you to speak to me with respect. If you're not going to speak to me with respect, I won't speak to you. That's fine.
Nadir,
No, look,
to you, I have respect. I'm telling you,
But
please.
the thing is, when I speak to you about the Bible, do I disrespect the Bible? I don't disrespect it.
You do.
I disagree with
Muslims
it.
go around-
I don't believe in it. But no, I'm asking you.
I'll tell you.
Did I disrespect
Let me
it?
answer.
Did I disrespect it?
Let me answer. Your religion, Islam, not just disrespects, but demeans, demoralizes, and wants to wipe out. Your Quran calls Christians and Jews worst of creatures. Is that disrespect or not?
It's just we
The
hate.
Quran calls Jews and Christians worst of creatures.
It's the same. I don't hate you as an individual. You're my brother in humanity, and I hate the belief that you have, and I hate
Nadir,
it for you.
you're a lovely
So
man. I'm talking about
equally-
Islam right now.
That's not my point.
Do you follow the religion which
not-
calls me worst of creatures? Do you follow that
In
religion?
your faith, you're the worst. Yeah, I believe that.
So you believe I'm worst of creatures?
in your faith, yeah. In your
So
faith.
in other words, wait a second. Am I a human? I'll give you 3 choices. Please answer, please. And stick to the answer consistent with Islam. Yeah. am I a human being?
Yeah.
Or am I a pig? Or am I even worse than a pig? What is it?
The answer consistent with Islam is the third one. Worse than a pig.
Yeah, and you are calling that respect.
Can I explain why? Can I explain why?
No, don't explain anything to me. You're calling. Wait a second. Wait, Nadir. You wanted me.
I'm calling it respect. I'm calling it respect.
Nadir, please. Earlier, when I said what is factually true, which is that these couple of verses have nothing to it. It has nothing. It's a waste of real estate. You were terribly upset. Now, once, let me finish.
I'm not terribly upset because of what you said.
1 second.
It's because of the way you say it.
Let me finish. So the way I speak about some text, some random text in some random book upsets you, but you're quite happy to call me worse than a pig. And you're happy about this.
Can you understand why I'm calling you worse?
No, I don't understand. This is...
Can I explain it to you?
There's nothing to explain here.
Yeah, there is.
How about the rest of the Christians here? Choose a couple of different Christians here. Whoever you consider to be Christian, are they also worse than pigs?
In their faith, yeah.
What do you mean? We ignore further qualifications. The Quran doesn't further qualify. Jews and Christians worst of creatures without further qualification.
It speaks of it. There's a reason for that.
Whatever the reason is,
Yeah,
I'm quite happy. You have a reason. I'm quite happy. We'll deal with the reason later. So you are quite happy that in the UK there are 49 million people who acknowledge or consider themselves to be Christians, and you're going to consider them to be worse than pigs. Yeah.
I'm considering them to be the worst of creation. Yeah.
No. Which is worse than pigs?
Which equates to that, yeah.
Which is worse than. So you're as a Muslim, you're happy. As a Muslim, you're happy to walk around thinking 49 million people of the United Kingdom are worse than pigs.
Okay, now,
but you want me to read this in a particular way.
Now you can let me explain. So that
I don't want an explanation.
Well, you do.
Okay, please try.
Sorry.
Please try.
What I'm saying is, does the pig have the choice between good and evil?
Do I care?
Well, yeah.
Please go on, Philip. Finish your explanation.
Humans have the choice between good and evil.
So.
If a human chooses good, then he can be the best of creation, and if a human chooses bad, then he's the worst of creation. The only creatures that exist with good and evil are humanity. And if we choose evil, then we're the worst of creation because we're the only ones that have the choice.
Remember where I started earlier?
Nadir. What I'm saying is, whether it's a pig or whether it's a horse or whether it's a donkey or whatever it is, all of these things are equal in the eyes of God in that they don't have any possibility for good and evil.
Okay.
We as humans have the possibility for good and evil. If you've chosen an evil belief over a good belief, then you're the worst of that because you have chosen evil.
Sure. Now I'm quite glad to hear that explanation, which is Quranic explanation. Now I'm going to open a new conversation. Yeah.
Go on.
Please forget about what we have discussed so far. Now it's a new chapter. So your challenge, your point is Christians and Jews are worst of creatures because
in their faith.
I heard.
Exactly.
I heard.
Yeah, so
well, I heard that.
So
please let me answer. Let me ask a question, please.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
You finished what you said.
No,
you finished what you said earlier.
I explain something with a qualification.
You explained earlier. Now my question to you is, so you are firmly of the opinion that Jews and Christians have chosen evil over good, and therefore in your mind you have the proper reason to call Jews and Christians worse than even pigs. You're quite happy with that? Now please tell me, give me details.
Equally.
What exactly have Jews and Christians done to choose evil versus over good? Give me some details, please.
The disrespect of God and His oneness. The disrespect of God and His oneness is the greatest sin that a human can commit. And if it's the greatest sin a human can commit, then it's the greatest evil anyone can do, because humans are the only things that are capable of good and evil. Like I said, it can be any animal. You can talk about the greatest of animals. What's the greatest of animals?
Which God did I disrespect?
I'm saying that you disrespected the idea of one God, the oneness of God.
Look, ideas don't matter. Which God did I disrespect?
The God of all of us.
Look, my God is Jehovah. My God is Jesus. I love Him with all my life. I respect Him with all my life. Do you respect Jesus as God?
No.
So you are the only one who is disrespecting God in my very clear awareness right now.
Okay,
so in other words, wait a second. Give me 1 second. In my awareness, based on facts, you disrespect God, not me. So give me details as to how unambiguously Jews and Christians have chosen evil versus good. Evil over good, sorry.
Because I believe that God.
No, forget about your belief. I'm talking about objective truth. Nadir, we're dealing with truth right now. When you can't, look, I may disagree with the gentleman all day long. One
If
second.
you ask me
I may
about my
disagree.
belief-
One second.
No, if you asked me about my belief and then you told me to give you objectives, what do you want?
In other words, your belief that I am worse than a pig is a baseless belief for which you can not give any sensible explanation. You can only claim that Christians and Jews are evil, but
Okay,
cannot give anything to back that up.
I say they've chosen evil. As individuals, they're not necessarily evil.
Look,
but they've
I have
chosen
told you very clearly, I have chosen good to respect my precious God and Lord Jesus Christ. In my awareness, you are the only one who disrespects my God.
Okay, so if-
let me
okay,
finish.
in your eyes-
Nadir,
can you let me finish?
One second.
Go on.
You are the only one who disrespects God in my awareness.
Okay.
Deep knowledge-based awareness. Despite that, I don't call you anything other than a human being. I don't want to demean
I don't call
you.
anything other than a human being.
You just call me worse than a pig. So don't. My dear,
Because
Nadir,
you're asking out of me.
wait a second.
I'm saying that you're
wait
a
a second.
human being,
Let me
you're
finish.
chosen
Let me
evil, that's what I'm
finish.
saying.
Please respond. So tell me, give me something which is objectively tangible to explain why Jews and Christians, objectively tangible, not your belief statements, objectively tangible.
It is a belief statement. If it's a belief statement, it's going to be qualified by.
All right. So in other words, my dear friends, Islam makes
No,
him
no, sorry.
believe without evidence that Jews and Christians
you're completely-
are
you-
worse
you
than
completely
pigs.
misinterpreted
Can you
the view.
imagine this?
If you completely misinterpret the view,
What is that? You don't understand?
you're
Islam teaches
completely misinterpreting my view.
You have, no, I haven't.
You know exactly.
No, no, no.
Exactly that you know that you're.
Jews and Christians, according to
If
Islam,
I've given you a belief statement, it's going to be qualified by a belief statement, is it not?
no,
Does that not make sense?
no, 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 no,
But does that-
no. Look, if you say you are the president of the US, and if I ask you for evidence,
Okay,
you should give evidence, not
if I've-
belief,
if I've given
more,
you-
not
if I've
further
given you-
belief statements.
if I've given you my
What
belief
you've done,
statement-
my dear, Nadir, please.
If I've given you something from the Quran, is it not going to be qualified by a belief statement?
No.
Okay,
If you are going to, I'll
I
answer.
gave you a word from the Bible.
I'm going to answer right
So
now.
I'm asking you if I
I'm
gave you a
going
word
to
from the
answer right
Bible.
now. If as a Muslim you have the audacity to go around claiming that 49 million people. Let me
I'll
finish,
tell you-
Nadir.
let me
Nadir,
say-
please
I'll
finish.
tell everyone what I
Let
have
me
the
please
audacity
finish.
to claim.
Let me please finish.
Let me finish.
Let me please finish.
I have the audacity.
If you have the audacity,
I have the
please,
audacity
let me finish.
to claim
Let me
that
finish.
anyone that chooses evil
Let me
is
finish.
worse in the eyes of
Sure,
God
sure. Let me
than any
finish.
creature. And
Let me
that's what I
finish.
said.
If
I
you
haven't
have,
said anything else.
I'm going to ask you a question, please. Pointed question, please stay focused. If you have the audacity in our nation to claim 49 plus million people who self-identify themselves as Christians are worse than pigs, you better have something more than deluded belief statements. You better have tangible evidence, remarkably redundant evidence that everyone could see very obviously to say that, oh, of course Jews and Christians are pigs and worse than pigs. What evidence have you got?
What I've said to you, what my evidence is that humanity chooses between good and evil. Is that true or is that not?
Evidence. Why do you think Jews and Christians choose evil versus good
evidence-based, do we
based on evidence?
Okay, evidence. Do we or do we not have free will? Experientially, that's evidence.
Forget about this.
This is
Evidence.
experiential, it's evidence.
Give me tangible
I'm giving you
evidence.
experiential
Okay, you're not going
evidence.
to. You're not going to give it. Okay. Anytime soon, are you going to give anything tangible by way of evidence? You're not going to.
What I'm giving
Dear friends, Nadir.
I'm giving you evidence.
Yeah, experiential, please. Give me experiential evidence.
Experientially, do you or do you not have free will? This is part
Don't
of-
ask questions.
this is
Give
part
me
of-
evidence.
Okay,
Give me
so
evidence.
We have free will.
Why do you think Jews
Okay,
and Christians
evidence,
are
yeah,
worse than pigs? Please go on.
Okay.
Please go on, please.
Okay, evidence. We have free will, do we not? Yes, we do.
You're asking a question.
Okay, yes, we have free
Please,
will. Yes, we
give
have
me
free will.
tangible
Evidence, we have
evidence.
free will.
Tangible evidence for claiming Jews and Christians are worse than pigs.
My evidence
Okay,
is
so, yeah.
if there's God and we should believe in God,
Yeah, please.
we should believe in God and that's it, right? We should believe in God and we should trust in God and we should love God and we should respect God. My evidence for saying this, because it's a consequential belief. It's a consequential belief that people are the worst of creation if they
You
don't
can
believe
talk
in
about
God.
evidence sometime soon.
Okay.
What is the evidence that you have, tangible evidence that you have,
Can you-
that makes you walk
I
around
want you-
thinking,
I
that
want
makes
I
you
want to let
walk
finish.
around
I
thinking,
want you to let me finish.
49 million plus people
I've let you
in
finish
our
every time
nation
you've had a point.
are worse than pigs.
Come on, man.
What
I've
is
let
what
you
is the
finish.
evidence you have?
I've let you finish every time you've had a point. Let me finish.
Now I'm going to let you finish, but talk about the
exactly.
evidence, please. Evidence.
That's not my point. I'm telling you to let me finish. It's a consequential belief. It's a secondary belief that people are the worst of creation if they reject God and His oneness and they believe in others. Right? That's our consequential belief. So I'm telling you that is based on the primary belief that it's choosing between good and evil. That's what I'm telling you.
Look,
So
Islam is a delusion. No sensible person would believe in a delusion like you. You haven't got a clue about the manuscripts of the Bible.
This is my
One
point.
second. You haven't. Look. Wait a second. I'll give you a simple example. Yeah. I'll give you a simple example right now. Yeah. You know,
Look, if you
I
want to-
I heard what you said.
Once again, if you're going to speak to me disrespectfully, I'm not going to speak to
Nadir,
you. You're
I've
doing it
heard
again.
you
You're doing it
speak.
again.
I
You're doing it
heard
again.
you speak.
Is
Now
that
I'm going to
last
respond.
chance? Disrespect me one more time. I'm going.
Sure.
Okay?
If you think I'm disrespecting, you can walk away any moment. But this is my point. You know, in our nation there are many mental asylums. Yeah, many mental asylums.
Yeah, man.
Today, if you open all mental asylums and let people go, they're going to come here and claim all of them are sane. People who are outside of the mental asylums are the ones who are insane. That is what they will claim. So you will have two sets of people.
That is-
The
that
ones.
is the
Well, let me
essence of
finish. Let me finish.
That is exactly what
Well,
truth
let me
is.
finish. Let me please finish. So you will have two sets of people.
Yeah.
One from the mental asylum who have escaped, and another who were always outside of the mental asylum, accusing each other of being mentally ill and being deluded. Now, that is what exactly is happening right now. As a Christian, I am saying you are disrespecting my God, the one true God, you are disrespecting, and you are likewise accusing me. One of us is the one who has escaped, the other isn't. On what basis do you think we decide who is the one who has escaped and who is the one who isn't the one who has escaped? On what basis do we do that?
It's belief in God. That is,
No.
that is-
Both
the
believe.
basis is belief.
My dear friend, Nadir, both believe firmly, like the people who have escaped mental asylum
Okay,
and those who are
okay,
outside.
logically.
No,
Yeah.
listen to me carefully. Both firmly believe.
I told
Let
you
me
my
finish.
basic logic.
Don't interject, please. Let me finish and then speak. Both firmly believe that they are sane, the others are the insane
agree.
ones.
My basis is
On
logic.
what
Logic,
basis?
logic.
On what basis do we find
I
who
just told you.
truly is mentally
Logic.
ill?
Logic. We'll go with logic.
Evidence is the key.
Is and
Evidence. Whoever, for example, the mentally
so
ill.
we just disrespect logic entirely. Logic is logic.
Evidence and reason put together. Now evidence and reason put together.
No.
Evidence and reason put
No,
together.
okay.
Why do you think Islamic Allah is the one true God? Please go on.
Because logically, it's the God that makes the most sense. If we're gonna,
Why do you think Islamic Allah is the one true God? There are all sorts of monotheistic religions across the world. Why do you think Islamic Allah is the one true God?
Because it's the purest of the monotheistic religions.
Explain, please.
We believe in God without place. We believe in God without form, and we believe in a God that's unconfined. We believe in the most consistent idea of a God, which is inconsistent with your idea, obviously. But we believe in it.
So you believe in ideas. So you
believe in it.
do you have in your religion? Has anyone ever met God at any point in time?
Yeah,
Who?
the Prophet ﷺ.
The Prophet who?
The Prophet Muhammad.
Met God?
Not in his person because he doesn't like have it.
So he hasn't met God. Has anyone ever met God in your religion at all?
Yeah, the Prophet went to God's throne.
The,
Prophet,
who went where?
The Prophet went to God's throne and he spoke to God. And the same way Moses spoke.
Excuse me, sir.
Moses spoke
Excuse me,
to God.
sir. No, one second.
One second.
One second, please. Don't just rant on and think you're making sense. So you are saying,
I'm saying, if I turned my back to you and I spoke, have I met you? If I hadn't seen you and I spoke to you, have I met you?
what is
I
the
have.
evidence? What is okay? Let me rephrase. What is the evidence that Islamic Allah is the one true God? This is what I asked you earlier.
No, and then you
now
changed
I'll
the
ask you
question.
again.
Then you asked me a different
I
question. You
apologize.
did.
I apologize. What is the evidence that the Islamic Allah is the one true God?
I'm telling you because it's it is bare in it. It's bare.
What is the evidence that Islamic Allah is the one
Because
true God?
it's the purest monotheistic.
No, forget about that. Give me evidence. What is the evidence that the Islamic Allah is the one true God?
Yeah, I've done it, man. I've done the answer.
Look, for Yahweh we have evidence. For Jesus we have evidence.
What evidence?
What's the
What
evidence?
evidence do you have that
Jesus
Jesus
died, came back alive. Yahweh split the Red Sea. Split the Red Sea. Led a nation. Gave food from heaven.
Okay,
All sorts of signs
I'm
and
asking
wonders.
you,
What is the
how is-
evidence? What is the evidence that Islamic Allah is the one true God?
The idea of Yahweh isn't different to the Islamic
What
idea
is
of
the
Allah.
evidence for Islamic Allah to be one true God?
He split the Red Sea. He gave food from the heavens. We believe in the same God.
Islamic Allah?
Yeah, Islamic Allah gave that.
Look, Islamic Allah didn't even exist at
the
that
Isla-
time.
the Islamic
Islamic
Allah-
Allah
the
didn't even
Islamic-
exist at that time.
The Islamic Allah is the God of the Jews. Is the God of the Jews. It's the same God.
Sure. Listen to me carefully.
If we speak to
Nadir, please listen to me carefully.
Okay, let's talk about
the Islamic
so,
Allah
the Islamic Allah
did not
okay.
even
So,
exist
the idea-
at that
the
time.
idea- okay, so the idea of Yahweh, when did that come into
The
Jew-
Islamic Allah did not even exist at that
When
time.
did the Jewish Yahweh come into existence?
At the time of Moses speaking to him. Sorry, he was in existence all the time. But when he spoke to Moses, that's when Moses knew him as Yehovah. When did the Islamic Allah ever come into existence?
When you say Islamic Allah, what do you mean?
Well, your Islamic Allah, Mickey Mouse
Okay.
Islamic Allah, who contradicts everything that is in the Bible. When did he come into existence?
I don't know. First of all, where does it contradict the Old Testament?
Everywhere,
Where
everywhere.
is the Old
He
Testament?
says the Bible is corrupt, and you can't give a Torah that is Islamic. You can't. So we have gone through all sorts of different things. I'm going to ask you one last time. Have you got any evidence, strong evidence for you to think you are not the one who has escaped from the mental asylum? You are not the one who has escaped from the mental asylum.
asking you to do
What
the
is
same.
what is your
Where is
strong
your-
evidence?
Equally, you can't give me strong evidence that I'm going to
I can
accept.
give you. I've written a book. I can give you later. What is the evidence that you have?
The evidence that you accept is going to be the evidence that I accept. Equally, it's the same.
I can give. Look, can you see? I've written a book. Can you see?
What time is it?
Can you see? I have written a book here. Have you got any evidence? Have you got any evidence for the Islamic Allah?
Yeah,
Any
The
evidence?
evidence that I have, you won't accept, and the evidence that you have, I won't accept. I've just told you this.
Look, my evidence is history. Your evidence is delusion. Have you got any tangible evidence that we can use today?
Not that you're going to accept. I know that's not going to accept.
Have you got any tangible evidence that we can use today of the existence of the Islamic
Well,
Allah?
I've got to head out, man. It's first time.
Sure, that's fine. But
look,
think about this question carefully.
about it.
Think about the question carefully. The question is very simply, is there any evidence for the existence of the Islamic Allah? Any evidence whatsoever? Given that exactly he contradicts the Bible all over the place. If you need where, if you email me info@operationsteven.org, I can give you details of live streams. Thursdays. Thursdays.
Is it not automatically going to contradict the Bible? Is that not like...
The Quran will contradict the Bible, so we'll need to find out who is mentally ill, who has escaped from the asylum, and who hasn't. We need to find out, and what is going to help us is evidence.
We'll find out.
Good to see you. That is God's blessings.